Okay, I'm going to show you how this thing works in Proteus, okay?
Okay, sir.
I need transformer, simple transformer. Then I need what? I need a capacitor, then a diode. I need another capacitor, then another diode. I need a capacitor, and a diode. I need another capacitor, and a diode. So you can see your diode is down, up, right? Like that. Okay, so this is a quadrupler. Now I need an input. This is 220. Okay, at first I will check the output voltage, oscilloscope. Here the ground will be here. Your output voltage is 11 volt, okay? But that means your, no, not output actually, your basic sine wave peak value is 11 volt. Your sine wave peak volt is 11 volt. Now I'm going to see, not this, not this. Okay, I will be seeing using a voltmeter. What is the voltmeter? Here's the voltmeter, DC voltmeter, not AC, because this network will make your circuit DC. Now I will check the voltage between this point and this point. Okay, this is 1 volt. That means one time the voltage. I will be checking the voltage between this point and this point. Then I will be checking the voltage between this point to this point. This is another voltage. I will be checking the voltage between this point to this point. Okay, so here this one will get the voltage from one capacitor. Okay, let's increase the value of the capacitor, 10 microfarad. Now this voltage is the voltage of one capacitor. This voltage is the voltage of this capacitor. This voltage is the voltage of these two capacitor. This voltage is the voltage of these two capacitor. So this one, okay, let me show you. This one should give you one time, that means Vm. These two, that means this plus this should give you 3 times, 3 Vm. This one should give you 2 times, that means 2 Vm. And this one should give you 4 times, that means 4 Vm. So quadrupler, tripler, doubler, okay, something like that. So let's check. See, here, although the voltage said it was 11 volt, but you are getting 13.6 because maybe there was a mistake in the, what is that, oscilloscope. See, here you are getting 13.4 volt here. So this one is double, 13 double. Although it was supposed to be 26, but you are getting 24, okay, double. This one is triple the 13. So 13 double is 39, but you are getting 34.1. Okay, we can call it a triple. This one is 4 times. You can call it a 4 times. Although 12 into 4 should be 48, but you are getting 44. That's okay, no problem. So it will be stable within a minute. So after that, you can see this is 12.5. This is 23, that means double. This is 33, that means triple. This is 44, that means 4 times. Understand?
Yes, sir.
So this is how you can increase your voltage using a network. Maybe your voltage is very small, okay, but you have to increase the voltage. You can get it. You can make it. You can make it double, triple, 4 times, whatever you want. Voltage increaser or voltage multiplier. So I may ask you to draw a voltage multiplier in your exam. Remember, okay, how this thing works. Okay, let me show you that. Oh my God, no. Let's go to the book. How this thing works. Now here, what will happen when the voltage, when the current or when the input is forward or positive half cycle, the current will try to go in this way, right? So it cannot go this way. Why? Because there is a diode that is reverse bias, right? That's why it cannot go like that. So how it will go? It will just go this way and come back, right? So while going there, this capacitor will be charged. Now the capacitor charge is not a DC, not a AC thing. It is a DC. When the capacitor charge doesn't know is it an AC or DC. Okay, what will happen? It will be charged at VM. That was the highest voltage available. Okay, this is the forward bias, not forward bias actually. This is the, what is that? This is the positive half cycle. When the negative half cycle comes, what will happen? Current will try to go in this way and in this way, but this current will not flow because this diode is reverse bias. So this will be off. Only these will remain. So when it will go like that, this capacitor will be charged. Now the source you have, the source are two. One is this one, another one is this one. Why? Because see, when the capacitor was charging, this was plus, this is minus. Okay. When the voltage is negative half cycle, this is plus. So current is going in this way. This is also plus. So current is also discharging, right? So both of them are added. So Vm plus Vm, it will become 2 Vm. This 2 Vm current will go through this way, and these will be charged. At what volt? At 2 Vm volt. So now if you check the voltage here, it will be 2 Vm. Understand? This was Vm, this was 2 Vm. Got my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now see the voltage quadrupler or tripler, how this thing works. So that we have already seen. This is Vm, this is 2 Vm. Okay. Now, what happened? when there is a positive half cycle, current will flow this way. Current will cannot flow this way because this is what this diode is reverse bias. So we can remove that. So it has to be this way, right? Now here, look at this. This 2 VM has a positive sign here. So it will go like this. This VM has a positive sign like that. So this will go like that, right? So these 2 VM and this VM, they will add up and they will charge the capacitor. What capacitor? This capacitor. At what volt? 2 VM volt. Because 1 VM, that means this 2 VM will be charging this one. This VM will be charging this one. So whatever the source you have, that will be the voltage of these two capacitor. Okay. So you have total 3 VM here. So these two capacitor will have 3 VM. Now for the negative half cycle, what will happen? This 2 VM will release the current. Where it will go? It will go like that, and it will charge up this capacitor. Charge up this capacitor. Understand? This capacitor voltage will be charging up this capacitor voltage. So if here you have 1 VM and 2 VM, so in total you have 3 VM. Here you have 2 VM and 2 VM. In total you have 4 VM. Understand? This is a pretty simple one. This is how this thing works. So you can actually add a lot of capacitor and diode, and you can increase the voltage a lot. Okay, I want you to learn light emitting diode or LED. Light emitting diode. What is a light emitting diode? This is an LED. So this is actually a diode, but normal diode has a casing, and that casing is solid and black. But this light emitting diode will have a casing that will be opaque. Opaque means transparent, and will have some color. So normally the diode will take up a voltage that is 0.7, 0.3, 1.2, something like that, and it will have a power drop, right? Obviously, if it takes a voltage and if this one has a current, there will be a power loss. There will be a power loss in the diode. Obviously, 0.7 and into multiplication of current. So that is the power loss of normal silicon diode. But how this power loss happened? How this power loss goes away? How this power loss dissipate? Dissipate means emission. Okay, how these things emitted. So this thing emitted in a form of heat. Normal diodes become heated. Okay, so they dissipate the power in forms of heat. But in case of light emitting diode, they emit their power loss in form of light. Okay, same thing. So normal diode, okay, let me show you something. This is a normal diode. So when a current flows here, so a voltage is lost, right? Voltage is lost. So a power is also lost, because power is equal to V into I. So V is 0.7 and I is the current that is going. Obviously there is a value. This power loss will be gone in forms of heat. Is a heat. So if you touch the diode, you will see it is a bit heat. Okay, it will a bit heated up. Now, in case of LED sign is here. In case of LED, this this power loss is being dissipated in forms of light. Okay, normal diode cannot emit light because the normal diode casing is black and it is solid black. So that's why it cannot dissipate the light. And light emitting diode can dissipate the light because the material that is using and the casing it is using, those are all opaque. Opaque means, do you know opaque? Opaque means transparent. Okay, so this is how the light emitting diode transmit the power. Okay, let me show you something. This is the general structure. This is the general structure of LED, light emitting diode. Here you have minus, that means that is the minus terminal. This is the plus, this is the plus terminal. Here they are actually metal contact. This one, they are all opaque, not p-type and n-type. Obviously this is p-type and n-type, but these are not solid. These are opaque. Opaque means transparent. So what will happen when you apply a voltage here? So the plus and minus, they will what? They will mix together, and they will emit or dissipate some energy. Those energy will leave, or those energy will exit. Those energy will be emitted from the LED in the forms of light. Okay, can you see the emitted visible light? This will be invisible form. Okay, so these are all the light terminal. You can see normal diode, they are heat. Normal diode, they are heat. Okay, now look at this. Normally the silicon diode takes 0.7, germanium takes 0.3, but how your diode will how your light emitting diode will take how much? Amber means the yellow color, almost yellow, not yellow, yellow orange actually. So it is made by aluminum, indium, gallium phosphide. The voltage is 2.1. That means it will take 2.1 at least. Blue is the most rare LED you can have. That is gallium nitride. This is it will take 5 volt. Green, gallium phosphide. This is very cheap and very easy to find. This is 2.2. Orange, gallium arsenide phosphide, 2.0. Red, most common, gallium arsenide phosphide. This is 1.8. White, gallium nitride, 4.1. Yellow, gallium, aluminum, indium, gallium phosphide. The same thing, same like amber, because amber and yellow, they are actually same almost. Okay, amber has a bit reddish color inside it. That's why you can see gallium arsenide phosphide. Here you can see gallium phosphide. So gallium phosphide will make it a bit reddish. So this one also 2.1. So this is a table you have to remember throughout your life, because whenever you are using an LED or whenever you are having an LED, that might have a different value. Okay. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a battery. Not battery, first let's say you have a resistor. You have a battery here. You have 2 LEDs. One diode. Another diode. So normally this is the symbol of LED. So let's say this is white and this is red. This is 6 volt. Which one will be on?
The red one, sir.
The red one will be on because the red one will take 1.8 volt. The white one will take 4.1 volt. So red one will be on. If red one is on, here the voltage is 1.8 volt. And here the voltage is also 1.8 volt, because 1.8 volt, 1.8 volt, right? They are parallel. In 1.8 volt, the white one will not run. The white one will not on. Okay. So this math we have already done. This is the LED. Now we will go to the next chapter, that is our chapter number 3, that is the DC biasing. Okay, the bipolar junction transistor. Today we will see the bipolar junction transistor in a video. Let's see the video first. How transistor works. This is the video, the first one. Can you hear the sound of computer?
No, sir.
Okay, no need, no need. See, this is how your transistor is made. One part you will have N-type, another part you will have P-type, then you have another N-type. So this is a sandwich. So this is an NPN transistor, NPN. One N, then you have P, then you have N. So this is called NPN transistor. There is another type of transistor available that is called PNP. So here you will have P, here you will have N, here you will have P. Understand? So the NPN is the 99% common transistor. So in 99% cases, you will be using NPN transistor. In 1% cases, you will be using PNP transistor. So that's why our course is mostly based on NPN transistor. You will almost never see any PNP transistor. Okay. Now, how this thing works? So working of a transistor. What happened? This is the main terminal of a transistor, this part and this part. You want to flow some current here, but normally the current will not flow. Why? Because see, this one is N, this one is P. So this is also reverse bias, right? No, not reverse bias. This is plus, this is minus. So this is forward bias. So this is forward bias, right? Current will flow like this, so electron will flow like this. So this is forward bias, but this is reverse bias. Can you see that? So current will not flow flow through here. Current will flow through here. So this is a problem. So no matter how you connect the battery, one junction will be reverse bias always. One junction. That's why it is called bipolar junction. That means bi means two, polar means opposite, junction means the mixing point. Here you have two polar junction. This one is a one polar junction. This one is another polar junction. That's why it is called bipolar junction transistor, or BJT, bipolar junction transistor. Understand?
Yes.
Okay, now. So one of the junction will be always reverse bias, So this will not conduct any current, not in normal method. So what you need? You need a push. You need to push somewhere. So in forward bias, there is no pushing. So this is reverse bias. This is not forward bias. In forward bias, you do not need any what? Any pushing. But in reverse bias, what? So one junction is forward bias. One junction is reverse bias, right? So forward bias, you do not need anything. This will normally work. But in reverse bias, you need some pushing. Remember, you need some push. If you push, then the current will flow. What is that push? That push is the smaller battery. Can you see a smaller battery here? Smaller battery. Smaller battery means smaller current. So you have to supply a smaller current in order to carry the big current. Okay, let's see the video. You can see if you supply this small current here, normally the voltage, normally the current will not flow because this is NP, this is PN. One of them is reverse. Okay. So what you have to do? This is reverse, this is forward. Now, if you change the battery, that will be reverse, that will be forward. Obviously, right? So if you supply another current as a push, what will happen? This is P, this is N, this is forward bias. What will happen? Some current will flow. So since some current is already flowing, so this will push the, what is that? Push the electron to overcome the barrier as well. Okay. This is how it will push the electron to overcome the barrier and it will flow, start to flow. It will keep flowing until you remove the current, this current. So this is actually your controlling signal. This is your main current. So this will actually works like a switch. Normally there is no current flow. When you push the switch, the current will flow. When you unpush the switch, the current will off. So this is actually works like a switch. Got my point? You will give a push by using a small current and a big current will flow. So this is a switch and also an amplifier. Remember, the small current you are giving, it will be multiplied. So the bigger current you will give here, the bigger the current it will have. So this is also an amplifier. So transistor actually works like two-way. One is what? One is as a switch, another one is as an amplifier. Okay. Remember, there are three pin of a transistor. One is base where you will connect your normal what is that? Normal what? Where you will connect your normal or the pushing current, and another one is emitter, another one is collector. This is the two. This is the point where you will connect your main battery or main current will flow. So the symbol of transistor is this one symbol. You have a base, you have a collector. Do not give this circle. Circle is not needed. One is base, one is collector, another one is emitter. Okay. So here you will supply your push current or your starting current. If you give some current here, normal current will flow. This current will flow. If you give some current here, this current will flow. And we will show you how, I will show you how this thing works. Okay. Now, I do not want to take any more time today because I am not feeling very well. Okay.